Some of these players were laughed at as kids. Some were told they'd never make it. Some had everything and lost it. But every single name on this list went through a transformation so wild, fans still argue about it today. We're counting down the 20 craziest soccer transformations in football history, and the story behind why each one happened. Stick around for number 1 because his transformation didn't just change his body, it changed the entire sport. Number 20. Wayne Rooney. He was the baby-faced wonder kid who terrified defenders at 16. But by his mid-20s, the headlines weren't about his goals anymore. They were about his hairline. Rooney underwent a very public hair transplant twice, turning a tabloid punchline into a quiet comeback story. Then, after retirement, the weight piled on just as fast as the praise once had. From teenage prodigy to balding superstar to a manager who looks nothing like the kid who debuted for Everton. That's transformation number 1. Number 19. Mario Balotelli. Why always me? Balotelli didn't just transform his game, he transformed what people expected from a footballer entirely. Fireworks set off in his bathroom, a wardrobe that looked like it belonged on a runway, a talent that should have made him the best striker on the planet. Instead, his career became a transformation in the opposite direction. From Manchester City's most explosive young star to a journeyman bouncing between mid-table clubs, his potential never fully realized. Number 18. Jack Grealish. Old academy photos of Grealish show a heavier, softer kid who didn't look anything like a future Premier League and England starter. Through relentless conditioning at Aston Villa, he rebuilt his body from the ground up, turning himself into one of the most explosive dribblers in Europe, and earning a record-breaking transfer to Manchester City in the process. Number 17. Memphis Depay. At PS5, he was the next Robin. At Manchester United, he was a cautionary tale. A brutal ACL injury at Lyon nearly ended everything. But Depay rebuilt himself, physically and spiritually, embracing his Muslim faith, changing his name to Memphis Depay Bukhari, and clawing his way back to the Dutch national team and Barcelona. Same player, completely different man. Number 16. James Rodriguez. 2014 was supposed to be the start of a generational career. The World Cup Golden Boot, a dream move to Real Madrid. Then came the conditioning criticism, the benchings, the loan spells, the visible decline in sharpness. From the most talked about player on earth to a cautionary tale about wasted potential, and a slow, ongoing fight to rebuild his career outside the spotlight. Number 15. Andy Carroll. Liverpool paid £35 million for him in 2011, a fee that shocked the football world. What followed wasn't the bruising, prolific number 9 fans expected, but a decade defined by one injury after another. His body simply couldn't keep up with the price tag. A transformation not of muscle, but of expectation crashing into reality. Number 14. Antoine Griezmann. A skinny, undersized teenager rejected by multiple French academies for being too small. Griezmann left for Spain, transformed his body through years of disciplined training at Real Sociedad, and turned himself into a World Cup winner and one of the most clinical forwards of his generation. The kid nobody wanted became a kid nobody could stop. Number 13. Paul Pogba. Pink hair, mohawks, custom boots. Pogba turned himself into football's first true style icon, becoming the most expensive player in the world at Manchester United. But the story didn't stay glamorous. Injuries piled up, his form dipped, and a doping suspension turned his name into a warning rather than a headline. From World Cup winner to fighting his way back into the game he once ruled. Number 12. N'Golo Kanté. For years, Kanté was football's most unassuming superstar. Small, quiet, almost invisible off the pitch despite winning everything on it. Then fans started noticing something different. A visibly leaner, more chiseled physique. The product of a complete shift in training and nutrition. The engine room of 2 Premier League title wins and a World Cup, rebuilding himself in real time. Number 11. Diego Maradona. The most dramatic transformation on this list, and the most tragic. A skinny street kid from a Buenos Aires slum became the greatest player some have ever seen, single-handedly dragging Argentina to a World Cup. But the same fame that made him a god fed an addiction that slowly took everything back. Maradona's story is the ultimate reminder that transformation can go both ways. Number 10. Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku spent years being criticized for carrying extra weight that slowed him down. Then came intermittent fasting, a complete nutrition overhaul, and a noticeably leaner frame that turned him into one of Europe's most feared strikers. Proof that sometimes the biggest transformation isn't talent, it's discipline. Number 9. Robert Lewandowski. His wife Anna, a sports scientist, rebuilt his entire lifestyle. Sleep schedules, meal timing, recovery routines, even when he was allowed to eat fruit. The result? A striker who got better with age instead of declining, smashing scoring records well into his 30s. The most scientific transformation in football. Number 8. Harry Kane. Ice baths before sunrise. Altitude training. A body and mindset rebuilt year after year to squeeze out every percentage point of performance. Kane transformed from a player loaned out by Tottenham 5 separate times into England's all-time leading goalscorer through nothing but relentless, repeated reinvention. Number 7. Erling Haaland. A lanky, almost awkward teenager at Molde who didn't look like a future goal-scoring machine. Within a few short years, Haaland transformed into a physical specimen that defenders simply cannot handle, breaking scoring records at Dortmund and then obliterating them at Manchester City. Genetics, training, and obsession combined into one terrifying package. Number 6. Kylian Mbappé. The skinny, electric teenager who tore through Russia at the 2018 World Cup looks almost nothing like the filled-out, powerful forward leading Real Madrid's attack today. Same blistering speed, completely different body built to survive a decade at the top. Number 5. Neymar Jr. From a barefoot kid in Brazilian street football to football's most recognizable fashion icon, Neymar's transformation has played out on and off the pitch. New hairstyles every season, a wardrobe straight off a runway, and a career full of comeback stories from injuries that would have ended most players. Number 4. Gareth Bale. He arrived at Real Madrid as the fastest, most explosive winger on the planet. He left as a punchline. A banner reading Wales, Golf, Real Madrid in that order summed up how far his relationship with the club had fallen. From Galactico to outcast, all before his career quietly wound down doing exactly what made him happy. Number 3. David Beckham. From a buzz cut at Manchester United, to a mohawk, to tattoos covering his arms, to becoming one of the most photographed style icons on the planet, the player became the brand. Number 2. Ronaldinho. There was a time when Ronaldinho was the most joyful, skillful footballer alive, the man who made Barcelona impossible to stop and football look like a party. Then, almost as fast as it arrived, it disappeared. Weight gain, declining sharpness, and a series of smaller clubs marked the back half of his career. The smile never left. The magic eventually did. Number 1. Cristiano Ronaldo. In 2002, Ronaldo was a skinny, gangly teenager at Sporting CP who relied on raw talent and stepovers to beat defenders. Today, in his 40s, he has the body of an athlete half his age, built through a level of obsession with diet, sleep, and training that teammates have called borderline inhuman. No one in football history has transformed their body and extended their prime quite like Ronaldo. It's not just a transformation, it's the reason he's still doing this 20 years later. 20 players, 20 completely different journeys. Some built themselves into legends, some lost everything they had. Which transformation shocked you the most? Drop the number in the comments. And if you want more untold stories from the world of football, subscribe to Spotlight Tale because we post these every week.